have learned to live by my own in whatever kind of situations I have faced. I was a very obedient child. My first choice was I want to live for the country, I want to die for the country, I want to make anything which makes this country a wonderful place. I live daily by making creativity in my work. I have lived a day with my full G. I cannot live in shackles. Success doesn't require any definition. Success is in yourself. You have to define what means success to you.
I am your host Gaurav Garg and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Dr. Nitin Aggrawal. He is currently working with Department of Public Enterprise as Joint Director. He is a disciplined and outspoken professional with more than 14 years of experience in consultancy, training and administration. It's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Nitin Aggrawal to our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone.
So tell us about your childhood and any particular childhood memory that you would like to share on our show.
My childhood was little challenging. At that time, my parents both were working and my mother used to live in a different town and I used to live with my father. It was a very challenging time to learn so many things in the childhood. So I have faced that type of situation where I have learned everything by my own. There was nobody to guide me, to teach me anything. So even there was no woman in the house. From that point of time, my childhood started. But yes, that has given me a capacity to carry myself in all situations. I have learned to live by my own in whatever kind of situations I have faced. Then second phase came when I joined my family united. My mother came to a place in Ghaziabad. We settled down in Ghaziabad and my brother also joined with me as a family. Then subsequently, we also kept on moving from places to places. We changed so many places because initially we were not having any of our own house was not there. So we have to keep on moving from one place to another. And then in that phase, I learned tangible thing, that is like relationship. I used to make friends. Then whenever I used to leave the colony, I will lose those friends. Then I have to subsequently make new friends. Similarly, it happened in my schooling life also. So those kind of stuffs I see, it has really created an environment of learning for me, and I really love to have a childhood like that.
So when I say childhood, what is the naughtiest memory that strikes your mind?
Naughtiest memory, I was a very obedient child. I was very disciplined also. Yes, but for games, it was like anything for me. Like if I have to wake up early, maybe in 5 o'clock also, I will wake up. And then we are playing like anything till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And mother was like getting angry, they have not come. And at that moment of time, we used to have a playground, very big playground in our colony that was a distance from our colony. But our mother will never come to that playground. But yes, probably when we go back and reach, then we will get the chiding as well as the sometimes when we were small, so some kind of beating also. So those things used to happen, and that is something which I will call my naughtiness because I am very fond of playing at that point of time. So for playing, I will do any mischief.
So tell us about your educational background, schooling and higher education.
Gaurav, this is also one of the wonderful things I would like to share with you. Like initially, I never liked to study. I was damn opposite of studies. I used to say these are things I don't want to learn because they are not for me. So initially, it felt like a burden on me. I used to feel like it is a burden on me and I have to study because I have a kind of problem where I don't remember much. So those kind of issues were there. So probably in that time, you have to mug, you have to deliver, you have to give the exams, you have to make the write the exam. So for that moment, we used to study, mug up, clear the exam. I was quite an average child. I was like earning the grades in the 70s and 80s. But I never felt like I am having a good experience. Yes, but my parents made it sure that I get a best environment. The environment gave me a kind of learning experience which I today has shaped me in this form. And I'm really thankful that I got those opportunities, and I'm really thankful to my parents who thought of giving me that kind of opportunity. During my first job, I started my engineering degree from IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Master of Computer Application. And within 1 year of completion of my master's, I got postgraduate diploma in computer application. Based on that, I got the first job. Then subsequently, I completed my master's, and based on my master's computer application, I got the second job. And then subsequently, you see my career over here. I have done a lot of education. I have done my MBA, I have done my PhD, I have done UGC NET, I have done UGC SET. This is a eligibility test for becoming a lecturer. So these kind of things I have cleared. Then I have also taken so many certificate programs from international institutes like Asian Productive Organization, Japan. I went to Fiji also. Then I went to Manila also. Then I went to South Korea also. So over there I attended so many trainings specific to my profession by my employer. So those things has really given me a kind of experience which probably I am trying to utilize best of my environment to make the environment best of a kind where it is beneficial for maximum pupils attached to that environment.
So, what was your dream profession as a child?
Gaurav, I wanted to become an army man. My first choice was I want to live for the country, I want to die for the country, I want to make anything which makes this country a wonderful place. So my initial thought was to become an army man, to do something for the country, or some maybe then subsequently I used to think of doing some kind of profession where I can help people like doctor profession. And then probably real life challenge came in front of me when I graduated. And then I found that without doing an engineering or without doing a doctorate degree, it is difficult to take profession of your choice. Then I realized the actual value of the education, and that was the turning point for me. Then I decided that I will take all kind of education, I will become an engineer, and I'm really thankful that God has given me this opportunity to serve the country, to be a government officer. And I am virtually and as well as apparently as well as from the holistically, I am living that kind of intent in my career.
So, who was your inspiration as a child? Who inspired you to basically work for government offices or think, okay, I want to do something for my country?
I would say my parents, again, because both of my parents were in government job. Yes, it was a tough time because they were initially or they were in the lower rank of the government sector. But yes, I learned a lot from them. I was knowing about the benefits of being a government officer. And probably when I started my career in a marketing job. I did marketing for 2 years, and in that career, I realized that though I have survived the marketing career, but it is not meant for me. And probably I am like a authoritative type of person who won't listen to anyone. If it is wrong, I won't listen. And if you want me to do anything like a bookwork, this is the thing you have to do this way only. So I cannot live in those shackles. This is my problem, my personality problem. I am a kind of innovative person. I am a kind of creative person. I live daily by making creativity in my work. So if you don't allow me to do my creativity, if you don't allow me to express my thought process in the system, I am a kind of rebellion. I will rebel everything. And then it becomes difficult for a traditional boss to handle me. And that has happened many times. They try to control me. So I don't get controlled easily unless you are also practical. You know this is the intent of that person and he is not having a wrong intent, he is having a positive intent. Maybe, yes, it creates a lot of challenges for me to take risk. And probably I foresee being a government officer, it gives us a quite a good opportunity to take risk. Though 80 to 90% government officers don't take risk because they are more focused upon growth of their career, opportunity, or other benefits. But my focus is totally different. I always think I should give to this society back because this is the single life I've got, and my objective or my creation in this human being by this God is to give back to the society. So I want to deliver that back to the society. That is my intent, and because of that, I thought to become a government officer because public servant has more outreach to give back to the society as compared to any other official or professional working for a private concern, because there you will be working for the organization for some commercial point of view, but yes, you will be giving back to the society as a service of that company. But as a government, I am giving back to the society from the perspective of the government. That becomes a kind of opportunity which is mammoth, and I truly love to be here in government sector intent, and probably that led me to being a government officer.
So, what about your hobbies and interests apart from playing games?
See, Gaurav, this has also keep on changing. Like when initially I was in my childhood, around 10 years or 12 years, I used to play a lot of games with my colony childrens. Every kind of games we have played, running, I Spice, everything. So then probably when I joined back with my brother, we used to play a lot of indoor and outdoor games like chess, ludo, badminton. That moment I went into those games. Then one of my moment came when my football became favorite game. So I wanted to make a career. I was like inspired by Maradona. So I want to play like a Maradona. But over the period of time, I realized that I have a musical man in me. I started writing poems. I started writing songs. I started writing notebook. Like diary making. So those kind of things I started doing. So probably that also gave me a lot of learning. It exposed me of myself. Otherwise, I was not knowing who the Nitin Aggrawal is. What does he want to do? So that probably gave me picture of myself. What kind of person I am? What does I want to do? So now my hobby is to look for new content, to develop something new, to create some kind of infrastructure which can make an enabling environment for learners to learn new things. So probably that is now my hobby is, and I'm also like, I feel that I have learned a lot of things. So I always keep on looking for opportunities where I can write articles or where I can do some kind of research and publish some research articles. So those kind of now hobbies I'm developing myself. And then lastly is, since I'm also growing with my family, my small kid is there. So I also love to play with the kid, love to make a storytelling to him, those stories which will make him motivated, will give him a learning on ethics, will give him a learning on his responsibilities or learning his professionalism. So all those things I take care of him over the period of time, moving from one hobby to another. But yes, previous hobbies also come back to me. So these are the things I foresee are my hobbies.
So, what was the reaction of your parents when you were selected as an officer?
My parents, they said wonderful to me. They said, you have done a good job. At least you have now cracked the government job. So keep yourself composed and keep yourself humble to the profession. This is the advice I got from my father. So he was always there with me, supporting me in all kinds of challenges, because whenever you join a job, it is not something you have learned something in the education that is exactly you will be able to implement. So there are some practical problems, there are some behavioral problems, there are some cultural problems are also there. So probably in those issues, my father was like standing like a pillar. He was always there with me. And wherever I used to get stuck, he was a mentor to me. He would always guide me. This is how you can do it, or this is how you can, you should avoid this thing or those things. Then this is how they reacted to me. And we went to the temple also to say prayer to the God for giving this opportunity to me.
So, where did you started your career journey from?
So initially, I started my career with a marketing job, sales job. But then probably I realized that marketing is not my job. Yes, but that has given me a kind of extrovertness in me, because when you are in the marketing, you have to be extrovert, you cannot be introvert. So that boosted my way of talking, boosted my skills in presentation, boosted my confidence in delivering any kind of thing. So probably there is the point when I started my career. Then I realized that this is not me, this is not my job. I have to be an engineer. So probably fascinated by computer line, I tried doing MCA. And in between, then I left the job because there was a requirement. My brother wanted to open a retail shop of medicine. So there was a requirement that we have to establish a business. I left the job because I was also not liking it. Probably my career was also started, or my education has also started. So I put there my effort. I helped him in establishing that thing, and parallelly I took some parallel jobs, low profile parallel jobs. And then when I did my MCA, I cracked the exam of government job. There I started as assistant director initially, and within 4 years of span I became deputy director, and within another 3 years of span I became technical director. Then in another 2 years of span I became group head. I was heading the vertical head, and this is how it moved on. And now probably after being a group head of a vertical, I applied to UPSC, to this Department of Public Enterprises. UPSC conducted my exam. They called me before a board of senior officers. So they found me eligible to this position, and then they recommended my case, and then probably I joined this organization as joint director. This is how my career started and moved.
So how was your early days as an officer, and what all changes did you felt in your life?
First and foremost thing I would like to say, I have lived the day with my full G every day. I've never felt like I am doing little or less. If I am getting an opportunity and if I am getting the full freedom, I will do all my efforts to move the things. So in some point of place of time, I found that somewhere freedom was less, somewhere freedom was more. Like in one of my bosses in 2012, he gave me ample freedom. In the sense, I was having the liberty to generate business for the organization. I was having ability to do new kind of trainings. I was having the freedom to experiment new concepts. So, and probably I can vouch for areas which may be a difficult terrain for any professional in my similar shoes. But he gave me that freedom. And then I applied my mind. I brought a lot of things for the organization. I brought mentorship program. I also brought empanelment process in the organization, where I gave opportunity. Like my organization at that point of time was having a kind of issue with because my organization is consultancy organization. So probably consultancy organizations have a different kind of competitiveness, where it becomes very hard for them to keep so many people on a permanent role. But at the same time, they want to have a employees on a pro rata basis. Maybe if I'm having a project of this, I need the people, I engage them, and then probably when the project completes, they are now by their own, they are freelancers, they are working for other companies, and they can do their own jobs. So that kind of ecosystem I developed in National Productivity Council, where earlier the things was that whenever a project comes, they will start searching for the people. And the moment it took more time, the project was out of it, because nobody waits for you. It is such a competitive environment. So probably your opportunity is lost. This point I realized, based on the direction of higher officers in my organization, when they gave me that freedom, you have to develop such a system. I developed that system where I gave employment kind of opportunity for more than 300 people. So now there are around 300 associates with the organization. My total capacity of officers in the organization is 250, or if I say consultant, only 150. But with this 300 associates, my capacity has increased, my ability to deliver has increased, kind of process I developed. Then I also brought in a student internship program. And over here, Gaurav, I would like to mention, see, I was not at that time joint director. I have never seen the operation of Department of Public Enterprises. Here, it is entirely a different story. And over there, when I was working, I was not aware of the steps which are happening over here. And I thought of bringing out a student internship program, national student internship program in the organization. When I have joined this organization, I realized this is one of the technique recommended by our Department of Public Enterprises to almost 300 central public sector enterprises, that this is the thing you should have as best practice. So see, when I was in MPC at that point of time, I was not knowing that this is the thing which Department of Public Enterprises has published and recommended. And I was already recommending a best practice for the organization at that point of time based on my judgment, not based on some information. So I developed the whole process, and you won't believe I created around 300 to 400 students got benefit out of that particular scheme. They learned a lot of things. They then got opportunity in some other organization. Still, they are in touch with me. Those who worked under my supervision, they always seek my recommendations. They always seek my references. Sir, I am joining that organization. In case some reference comes to you, then please recommend my case. So those kind of things I have developed over there in the ecosystem. So I was like this kind of professional who will not wait for anything, who will jump into it, do the mischief, and implement it. And then I will also like to apprise you in the National Productivity Council, since I was also involved in training activities, I realized various loopholes, various gaps. I started plugging those gaps. I made a case. I presented these are the loopholes. This is need to be catered by technology, by process improvement, everything I recommended. And you won't believe the persons who were there in the Director General level officers, they understood my cases, they accepted those cases, and I was given the freedom to implement them. And I did it to the maximum extent. However, there was some issue in the implementation of the technology because I was not in the technological in charge of the technology. So it took some time, but somehow I got selected in Department of Public Enterprises. I joined over here. Again, I got the opportunity to oversee around 8 crore central sector schemes of training, where I am giving around training to 1000 executives under RDC scheme and around 1500 executives under CRR scheme. So one scheme is for executive training, another scheme is for VRS optics. So in those schemes, I brought in technology, I brought in that mechanism which was earlier not available, and now I am sitting over a database where I am starting to do data analytics to bring out micro level input into the training. So those kind of stuff I am able to do because I was always thinking from an alternative or from a different kind of approach. I was not on the traditional approach. You see, this is the thing, this is happening that way, I have to just complete it and go back and have my day off with my family. No, I will always think how to improve it, what better I can do it, so that whenever my client or my outreach peoples who will be taking benefit of this scheme gets maximum benefit out of it. I have also implemented National Productivity and Innovation Awards for 6 sectors which were never known, which were having no awards, national awards, like toy industry, like leather industry, electronics industry, electrical industry, sports industry, and one more industry was their hardware industry. So in those industries there was no awards. Nobody was promoting them, nobody was looking into their issues. I brought out a National Productivity and Innovation Awards. We completed 3 cycles. Then Honorable Minister of MSME, he gave the award to the awardees. So it was really amazing. I did jury meetings, I did evaluation of the awardees, I did recommendations, we brought out cases, so that those cases are now available to everybody else also to learn from them and develop entrepreneurship type of businesses for themselves or for their own families or for their own communities. Those kind of stuff we did over there. So I have been living like, so I'm initially a computer engineer, but see how the things I have done. I've never imagined, I've never thought of I can do these things also. So I feel like God has been gracious to me. He has given me so many opportunities. Over here also I have and developed so many things in the perspective of training, in the perspective of policy, in the perspective of CSR. So a lot of things I am doing over here also.
So first thing, where do you get so much of energy from to do so many things, and where do you get the ideas from?
See, Gaurav, I told you that I cannot live in shackles. You give me the rule, I am there to find a solution which means my approach would be why this is prohibiting this thing, why it should not be liberated. Ultimately, rules and regulations are made for value addition, for value creation of the organization. If something is creating negative value or something is prohibiting any kind of free growth of the system, where that will be beneficial for the organization, for the people around. So I always look from that end. So probably that gives me an energy. Secondly, I have an intention to serve. I don't want anything for me. I want to serve. I want whichever thing I do, I give it to the society back. Whatever thing I learn, I translate it into something which give it back to the society. So it is something I won't be carrying everything with me when I leave this world. So why should I? I should give back whatever I can. So probably those things motivates me to bring out something new. Then secondly, I don't get afraid of doing things. So I am the kind of person, if I'm feeling wrong, I probably love to right wrong. But yes, I would say there are some areas in government sector where we don't get that kind of freedom. We have to just follow the protocol. That is where sometimes people lose their enthusiasm. So over the period of time, if you are keep on being pulled, why are you writing this? Why are you not following this? Why are you not following that rule? Then probably it gives a pinching to you, and then you start getting back. But I am Nitin Aggrawal. I will not stop. I will find a different route. I will do my stuff and going to the next level. So my way is my way, and probably I feel I can do it, and nothing is restricting me. Only thing is I have to risk myself, and I take risk. I risk my career. I risk myself. I risk everything. So if I am writing it, boss will be angry. Obviously, he can screw me. So, but probably I don't want to kill myself. I want to live myself, and if I want to live myself, I want to live with my full enthusiasm. Then I have to probably do what I feel correct. This is where sometimes people get back, and then probably they keep on suffering and don't get creativity or enthusiasm into themselves. They say, this is the job, I'm getting this much salary, this is for my family, so my life is smooth, I don't want to fight with him, fight with that. So probably that kills. But if you have that tempo, you have that want to keep that enthusiasm, you have to have a fighting spirit. One of my friends used to say me, you are a horse. If any horse rider is not equipped or skilled, he won't be able to ride you. So you are a horse of that race, which is hard to control. And probably if any officer has to control you, then he has to understand what kind of stuff. Then only you will be able to, or he will be able to get deliverables out of you. Otherwise, I am not controllable by easily, because I am kind of a rebellion person. I will rebel every situation. I will rebel every rule. I will rebel every kind of issues. That is my approach.
Great. So who is your mentor in your professional life?
I would say that your immediate supervisor becomes always a mentor to you. It is invariably a mentor to you. And probably I am happy that I have got so many officers as mentor to me, and even in the rank of Director General who were IAS officers, and I am still making a touch base with them. They are always there, standing there for me whenever if I am needing them. I would say the people who come into your life are always your mentor. Even the subordinates gives you a lot of learning. Though they may not be your mentor, but they definitely gives you a lot of learning how to deal with the situations. But I will probably say 2-3 people as my really mentors. One was my professional mate whom I met he was a trainer. His name was BG Gupta, Rij Gupta. So he was one of the mentor and he's still keeping touch with me. He's always a very teacher for me. One of the officers was like Mr. Siddharth Sharma, whom with I worked extensively for a longer period of time. And probably his approach of practicing the job or practicing the profession was very practical. And he was not like a kind of a traditional boss who will always look for processes, policies. He was quite understandable. And probably current boss also is one of my mentor. He's advisor to Department of Public Enterprises. He's Agrim Kaushal. He's also quite practical in his approach and having a good leadership skills also. I would say he's also a good mentor. Yes, other officers were also there whom I have worked. They have also given me a kind of mentorship. But yes, I've lived very less with them. So it would be difficult to call them as mentor. Yes, but whatever time they have spent with me, it was really amazing learning with them. And probably one of our Director General, intermittently she became a Director General. Yeah, and she gave me a thought-provoking push. She said, you should have a kind of mission, you should have a kind of passion. So those are the lines which I carry with me, and probably I see with him like a very acclaimed professional who has boosted my motivation. So she always prompted me. She is Vandana Kumar, Dr. Vandana Kumar. He is Joint Secretary in Department of Industrial and Internal Promotion, DPIIT. So she pushed me to that particular aspect. She said, you should work for your passion. So you should identify every job with your passion. You have to do it. Then only you can deliver the best out of it. So those thought-provoking moments, though I have not worked very close with her, yes, but little moments which she has spent with me, she has really boosted my motivation. She is an inspiration to me because I've seen her working like anything, and kind of planning and meticulation she carries with her, or kind of application of her knowledge I've seen. It's really amazing. Yes, but not less other officers in her similar ranks, whom also I have worked. I have seen them amazing personalities. They have really given me a thought-provoking ways of dealing with the things, because I have seen them applying their decision-making power. I have seen them applying their knowledges in dealing with the subjects. So those things ultimately translate into a kind of mentor to you, because you learn a lot from them. So I would say every situation is a mentor to you. Only thing is, the person who comes helping you in case of need would be a real mentor.
So how would you define success, and what do you think is the role of luck, hard work and smart work in success?
Success is a kind of virtual thing. It is totally depending upon you. If you feel you have succeeded, if you feel you have been successful, you are successful. It doesn't require approval of my colleagues, it doesn't require approval of my society, it doesn't require an award to be given to be a successful. It is a concept, it is a mindful concept which is within us. If I am making something or I am realizing something which I intend to, and I feel I have realized, it is a success. Problem comes when we start associating with awards, we start associating with appreciation from others. then it becomes a challenge for us. Then we have to look for the benchmarks, then we have to look for. So I would say, if I am writing a poem and I have successfully written a poem, it is a success for me. It is something, a kind of satisfaction it will give to me is unexpressible. I cannot express you how satisfaction it becomes for me when I complete a poem, when I complete it, though it may not be as per the standards of a really a poet, but for me it is a success. So probably I would say success doesn't require any definition. Success is in yourself. You have to define what means success to you. So it is not something you are gaining it, then it is a success, or gaining that is a success. It is you who will define what means success to you, because ultimately you have to be content. I have seen people who have got award 1, but they are not happy. So success is something which makes you happy, amuse you, feel like sharing with anybody who's close to you. That is a success. It is a demand supply game. So if demand is more, the probability of luck going into the picture will become more. And that is also an area, gray area, where malpractice will also come in play. So luck and malpractice go together. So I would say an opportunity came to you, you did your best. If you have not achieved it, still you have achieved something. You came to know what made you fail. Now what made you fail will help you to deal with a similar situation in future. So this particular aspect is known as smart work. So it is not something inborn. Smart working is not something inborn. Nobody has learned when he was born. It is something you learn by experience. So even if you are failing, you are learning something. So success is there in each failure also. So it is not only when you are succeeding, when you are achieving something, you are success. You are success when you are a failure also, because you are learning how to deal with similar situation in future. And luck is always there, but at the same time, I would say our ecosystem should be such that we should, because this is something I would call it as inhuman. Human beings are made to do anything, everything, and whatever way they want, because we are the only species having brain which we can apply in whatever way we want to. We have that capacity. So if we are judging, you are not competent, you are competent, you are lucky, you are not unlucky, we are actually disgracing this human race. Everybody is capable to do anything. We have just made a kind of system where we reject somebody because of some reasons, we select somebody because of some reason. That is not a perfect system. You cannot perfectly judge a human being in 15 minutes of interview. You cannot judge a particular human being by taking a small test. So it is something, it is a learning kind of behavior which he will be going through it. Only thing is, yes, where jobs are meant with some kind of skills. So probably testing those skills, testing if he has actually learned those skills, that I would term this as a kind of evaluation, a kind of assessment, but not based on how you have spoken, what kind of stuff you have spoken. You're judging him, judging his personality, because see, circumstances are not in my control. If that person is living in certain circumstances, obviously those circumstances, those environment will be making his personality. So it is not because of his own wish, own will that he is like that. But yes, if you are bringing him to a new environment, you have an intent to make him to your environment. It is not difficult. So I would say success is within. Probably that opportunity was not meant for me because there is a lot of competition. I cannot compete to everything. I cannot achieve everything because somebody else also has to get it. So probably with that thought of process, if we live, we are successful on this.
So if you were able to get hold of time machine, which particular phase of your life you would like to roll back?
I would love to live 100 years when I was doing the marketing job. Reason I will give you, because that was the moment when I received of the parental union. I was totally living alone. So at that time, I was having a freedom to wake at whatever time I want to wake, sleep at whatever time I want to sleep, eat whatever time I want to eat. So that was the freedom, ultimate freedom. And then I was having a good friend circle also. Whenever I am getting bored, I will go there, sit with them, eat with them, marry them. We used to go for ice cream parlors in the night and celebrate with each other. Going to the lassi parlor. I was there in Punjab. I did some stuff of marketing in Punjab region. So it was really an enchanting moment. And probably the freedom kind of enjoyment I did at that moment of time, I thought I would have lived more such period.
So what are your roles and responsibilities as Joint Director at Department of Public Enterprise?
My roles and responsibility is towards supervision of various activities. Like I am looking after policy making. Policy making is like every ministry, if he wants to bring out some law. So bringing out a law is a complete process where the ministry will make a proposal in requisite format. The proposal will then circulate it to the different ministries, different stakeholders for consultation. Then that proposal, after all consultation, will be submitted to the parliament through nodal ministry. Now this parliament will vet all those proposals and make a deliberation, discussions. Once those final discussions have come, the nodal ministry will finalize the draft, and then that final draft will be submitted to the parliament with the vote of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or both the houses. That will be approved and becomes the law. Now in the whole process, I am also into the making of law. Like I initially drafting the proposal, I am also into the giving the consultation as a ministry, nodal ministry. If this is the thing which is coming to us, then these are the things which should also be got involved into it, or these are the other laws on which this has an impact. So those kind of consultation I am giving over here. Then secondly, I am also supervising the training activities. There is a very big training budget of around 8.5 crores, where we are giving capacity building to central public sector executives, in which on-roll executives are there, as well as those executives who have taken VRS from the CPLCs. So now my objective is, are these training really making an impact? Are these training really reaching out to the beneficiary in the desired formats or desired methods? So under that framework, I am using my computer skills also and my engineering skills also. I have developed over here a technology-driven system, which we call is that online training and nomination system, OTNS. By that mechanism, we have digitized the complete training process, where we are capturing each and every moment and monitoring the progress on live basis, real-time basis. So now everything is coming to us in a real-time manner. What is happening, where it is happening, what are the gaps, then we can plug those gaps, issues. And then at the fag end, when training is completed, probably if you see with the traditional approach which is happening around the world, we collect the feedback. In some organization, we also do the analysis of the feedback for one particular training, push it or keep the record into the file and close it. Over here, I have brought this whole feedback system into a database. Now everything is collected online and comprehensively all the data is available to me when I am designing new calendar for the next year, or when I am designing the new project of undertaking training for the VRS. So I am now much aware what is happening, what are the things where I can plug those issues. So if I am doing a training on procurement and my participant is saying, sir, I want arbitration to be taken up for a more time. So probably then I can find out at the micro level what are the sessions are I now required to be added to that training so that now participants get a better result, because they are in the CPSCs, they are having a lot of arbitration issues. So they want to address more on arbitration rather than on procurement, because procurement is a well established process now. So those kind of micro level planning has come into picture because I am having that kind of system. I was able to make that kind of system for the department. So which was otherwise not possible. Because of my background, because of my engineering background, I could have done it. And probably because of my MBA also, I did MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, where we were trained to do things on short notices. Like tomorrow I have to make a presentation. Today my faculty is saying, you will make a presentation on financial management of the institutions. So we were like, oh, what? How? But we have to deliver. That kind of pressure, working in that kind of pressure, they have taught us. My faculty has taught us how to deal with those situations. So probably these are the reasons I am able to deliver over here and get the things out of it, system out of it. So those kind of stuffs we are able to make over here. And then also I have dealt with one more subject which is known as corporate social responsibility. This is another subject where there is a well-established guidelines, very well-established act is there, Companies Act is there, under which there are some things which all the organizations, invariably public sector enterprises as well as private sector enterprises, have to spend on CSR activities. So we have a monitoring mechanism over here by which we are ensuring that every kind of corporate social responsibility is complied. And you won't believe, under this pandemic situation, our central public sector enterprises have made utilization of CSR funds to give this country a system in place to move the vaccines from one state to another. They provided the machines, they provided the vehicles, they provided the store infrastructure where these vaccines have to be kept. So they opened those nodal offices in different states. Because of these central public sector enterprises, that was quite possible. Otherwise, it would be a very difficult task for the government to implement. And probably because we are monitoring those CPSCs, we are guiding these CPSCs. Because of that mechanism, under that mechanism, my department was able to maneuver that resources through these CPSCs under the CSR fund and probably helped our country in getting out of this pandemic situation. So this is probably, I felt like I have contributed to the society. Maybe this may not be recognized, this may not be realized, or this not be awarded by anyone. But yes, I know I have done a good job. Not for me, for the society. And it doesn't require any approval. I know it. I have done it.
So what all are do's and don'ts you would suggest to students who are preparing for examination to be a government officer?
First and foremost, I would say go with your interest. Never go under a pressure that your father wants to make you a government officer, your mother wants to make you a government officer, or your peer group is a government officer. If you have an interest, you want to do it, then you come to the government sector. Otherwise, at the back of the mind, you will have, मैं तो यार बहुत बड़ा businessman बन जाता, I would have become a big businessman. What I am doing here over here in government job, it is not for me. Because if I want to earn a lot of money, this job is not for me. If I have an intention to serve the public, then this job is meant for me. And if you want to have a work-life balance, then a government job is very good for you. But if you want to work like you want to have so many big companies, you want to have so many infrastructures, you want to work into different sectors where you can get a lot of money, so then probably government is not that area where you should focus upon. So always approach any segment of the job based on your interest. Secondly, if you have decided to become a government officer, then probably you should look for the eligibility norms. For what particular job you are targeting, what are the eligibility norms? At least fulfill those eligibility norms, and then review what are the competitive exams being done for getting that job. So if you are aware of those things, then you obviously can plan in a better manner and undertake those competitions to get into the jobs. Now over here also I would say, if you can afford to have support system like tuitions and all, it's okay, you can take it. But if in case it is not possible, then also don't get afraid, you won't be able to do it. There are a lot of stuffs now available online also which you can refer. Then probably you can also get hold of a class of people who are also into that same domain of getting the government job of similar type. You can interact with them. This group also becomes a cohesive group which help each other to fight and compete for the competitive exams. So that is another way. Otherwise, your interest, your passion for the job will bring you to that point. So in my case, my passion to serve the people, I would say, has brought me to this particular place. I've never thought of going to the government job. I have probably thought of serving the country, serving the society. And probably God has realized, or the ways have made like that, everything, roads were constructed in front of me by that way, by virtue of God or by the grace of God. I got a smooth ride and kept on moving and doing a lot of things over there. So it's really amazing.
So now we will start our rapid round.
Yeah.
Your favorite actor and actress?
Shah Rukh Khan and Madhuri Dixit.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
Your favorite food?
Favorite food is my khichdi, tahari, I would say.
Success in one line?
Success is to me. Success is defined by me.
Things in your wish list?
If my reach to the people can increase, I would be more than happy. If my services reaches to a larger population, I would be more than happy. If I am able to serve in any manner to maximum people of the world, I would be more than happy.
Your second choice of career?
Anything that can make me serve the country, serve the people, serve the world.
So at last, one line that defines you?
I am satisfied.
Thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure talking to you and listening to the experiences and the innovative things you have done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.